Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandy Glaze. I'm a personal transformation and self-development coach, and today is Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. And I know there's a lot of crazy things happening around us right now, but I think this is all part of the what we're to experience with the ascension process as well. And that's what I want to talk about today, what we can do while we're watching this insanity unfold. And for some of you, you're aware that the sun is changing energy, cosmic energies are changing, earth energies are changing. And why all of this matters is because it's also changing our awareness and our consciousness level. And while this is all happening, we're waking up, but we also have forces who are trying to sabotage us and keep us dumbed down. But it's important that we look at this as maybe from a different perspective so that we can see what is actually happening. So as I'm watching what's happening overseas, it was interesting because I had a friend talk about this, and what she asked me, she asked if the flag that was happening in Palestine had a sideways triangle on it, and if that stood for oppression. So I decided I was going to start researching this. And of course, we all know what comes to my mind right away is a sideways flag. And I want to talk, or sideways triangle. And I want to talk about the sideways triangle because nowhere in any spiritual literature have I found that the sideways triangle has a meaning or a significance. So this has just recently come out. We know originally the LBG flag was the one here on the left, with red being the highest color, orange, yellow, green, the throat chakra, the cayenne, and the purple, but it was missing the third eye. So what I want to talk about today is the triangle and the significance of the triangle. And when we start looking at ourselves as energy beings, and we start looking at ourselves as we are creation and we are made in the image of God, we are created in the image of God, which means naturally created. We start looking at this, we can start to see how some of this geometry was used against us. So it got me looking into the triangle, and it was interesting because sometimes we take things for granted. And what I found was the meaning of the triangle is the dynamic force of creation. So as you saw with that LBG flag, the triangle is on its side, which is anything against creation. And it's about the creative spirit. And it's also a symbol of harmony and balance. So when it's pointed upward the way it's supposed to, so I'm going to talk about Merkaba, I'm going to talk about a few things today. When it's pointed upright the way it's supposed to, it also means it symbolizes our elevation to a higher consciousness towards our ultimate goal of enlightenment. So as we're being attacked, people are being attacked in the foreign lands, we're still being attacked in the domestic land. And as people have seen this chart many times, enlightenment vibrates at a frequency of 700 to 1,000. So that's our goal. So we know love vibrates at 500. I think what does he have here, 540? No, yes, 500, but I think it's 528, but enlightenment is 700 to 1,000. And that's what our ultimate goal is, because the war between good and evil is really about truth and lies. That's the difference. Good and evil, the lies is what is really trying to keep us dumbed down. So that's what I really want to focus on. So the upright triangle is about enlightenment. The triangle represents the active creative principles of consciousness. So I look at those flags and how they all came out at the same time. And anybody who's listened to me talk before, you know, I think the three-letter agencies are behind the LBG, what have you, because they couldn't be that organized. And most people, I don't think, are sick enough to come up with that concept, but I think they would do just fine. So it's also sometimes referred to as the fire of consciousness. The triangle represents the Trinity. You know how everything is in three? Mind, body, spirit, Father, Son, the Holy Ghost. Even in the dark energies, when they do the black magic, they also do that in threes. So it's really important to understand the significance of the triangle. Okay, so sacred geometry. We are made up of all, what we're made up of in life as humans, we also see in nature. And I'll give an example. You look at seashells. Some people would say that represents the Fibonacci sequence. You look at our human ear. Some people say that also represents the Fibonacci sequence. You look at the design in the honeycomb. That's all sacred geometry again. You look at the design in flowers, like even sunflowers, like the way the seeds are naturally grow inside a sunflower. You look at that, that's all sacred geometry. And this is what we're missing when we're getting dumbed down and tried to be made into square or lower frequencies. So this is what we're missing, what our connection to nature is. So energy matters. So So what got me going on this too, what part of my research, I'm going to talk briefly about this today, is the chakra system. So we know that Western society does not want us understanding how our energy systems work in our body. They don't want us understanding the nadi system, the Pingala, the Ida. They don't want us understanding how our energy flows in our body, because when we understand that, we vibrate at a higher frequency. But what I was looking at was the chakra system, and depending on whose depiction you're looking at, I use the Hindu system. But it was interesting because the three chakras that had a triangle in it would be the solar plexus, just located above your belly button, which is your willpower, your throat chakra, which is your voice, and your third eye. And the third eye is also missing in that LBG flag, which I know I pointed that out many times as well. That color is missing, that the indigo. So they don't want us waking up to the true sense of who we are. And I think that's why they doubled down, because they're starting to realize that when we understand that this has all been inverted on us and we can get our energy flowing the way it's supposed to, that we're going to wake up even faster. So that's the impression I'm under. So, okay, so the right side up and the upside down triangle. I was going to talk as well about the heart chakra, because this is going on overseas right now as well. So the heart chakra, it includes an upright triangle and a downright triangle, upside down triangle. And what those two do combined creates a six-pointed star. And we know Israel, the flag, has the Star of David. So have they hijacked that, meaning they hijacked the masculine and the feminine? I'm not sure. But this is an example of a Merkaba star. What happens where you are in the middle of the Merkaba star, either way, I should have had a picture of this. I apologize for my phone going off right now. But what happens, that is your masculine and feminine balance. Everybody has masculine and feminine energy, but when you're in that zone, you're in your higher energy, you're in your higher self, your higher knowing, your observer point energy, but that's the ultimate balance between masculine and feminine energy. So this is why I think they're hijacking the triangle. So the upright triangle represents the masculine energy. It's man striving towards union with God and heaven, from what I'm researching. And the upside down triangle is the ancient symbol of femininity, or being a representation of feminine, female genitalia. And as we know right now, educators are just obsessed with sexualizing children. Like, they just, kids and sex is all they talk about. I was just at a school board meeting, absolutely disgusting how they play the game and pretend they're all stupid and they don't understand the harm this is causing, right? But we have to understand that the triangle is the representation of the holy. And when we look at that as everything in threes, I think it's going to help us ascend even into our higher knowing and our innate knowing, while all this nonsense going on around us, right? So deception is the game of evildoers. Evil can't create, it can only steal, imitate, or intimidate. Without bullying, they can't exist. And again, that's what I saw happening at that school board meeting. They can copy, impersonate, intimidate. They are boring as hell as people. Like, just watching the games, they all play the same games. And the only thing I can find myself that they have in common is they are not connected to their heart and they have no soul. They will lie to your face. It's all about, it's all they have to steal from us. They observe you to see how they can dupe you. So that's what the game of evil is. So as we're talking about the chakra system and we're talking about getting our energy in flow, what do they come up with? All of these flags. And again, many of them have the triangle or the circle on them. We are creator beings. We are in touch with our innate knowing, and that's what they can't do. So what else do I want to talk about? Okay, so when we start looking at the chakra system, some of the depictions that I've seen, they look like a funnel coming out either the front, well, they do come out the front and the back of the body, but that could also be portrayed or viewed as a triangle. So, we look at it as a funnel, but it could be a triangle. So the third eye, so when we're talking about, I talked about the third eye a bit, but what the third eye is associated with is the inner wisdom. It's known as the seat of the intuition, of our intuition, and it's our heightened spiritual growth. So while we're in a spiritual battle, this is why they're trying to put the triangle on its side, to keep people in the linear path instead of moving forward. That's what I'm coming up with anyways. So the third eye symbol, it's a symbol of enlightenment, awakening. So in the third eye symbol, I know this is just a hand drawn, but what it is the triangle inside a circle. And so the triangle inside the circle is the symbol of all knowing. So the circle represents unity, oneness, and wholeness. And if you look at those LBG flags, some of them have circles on them as well. So I thought these guys were just being silly and trying to, throw us off, whatever. No, there's a reason that they're using the triangles in those flags, and that is to lower the frequency of the people who are identifying with that energy. So I'm hoping this is going to help people today. Just to understand how we operate, our systems operate. Now, I haven't gone into it far enough yet, but I understand even on a molecular level that the triangle is present there. So I'm going to go look in that a little more. And what I thought about was when you start looking at what the triangle is, if you start in the bottom left-hand corner and go up, and use it as a breathing exercise and use it as a meditation, because if you start envisioning what the triangle is, I'm wondering if that's going to help you bring up your DNA even faster, bring up your innate knowing, your consciousness. So what I'm going to suggest is you start in the bottom left-hand corner of the triangle. And as you envision going up the slope to the top of the triangle, breathe in for a count of 3. And as you're at the top of the triangle, hold for a count of 3 as you go down to the bottom right-hand corner of the triangle. And when you're at the bottom right-hand corner of the triangle, release your breath as you go back to the bottom left-hand corner. And just imagine what information is locked in the triangle that you can access that can help you on your ascension. And it's unfortunate what we're seeing going on around the world. It's absolutely heartbreaking that some people will cause this much pain and suffering and destruction, all for money. Like, it's paper, print the shit. Like, how much do people need, but it's not going to stop, I don't think, for some time yet. We're going to see false flags. We're going to see all kinds of created dramas. We're going to see all kinds of pain and suffering. But the idea is that you still grow inside yourself, because we can't change necessarily what's happening over there, but we can still work on ourselves. So I'm hoping people find this video useful today. Just keep focusing on the triangle. What is the triangle symbolizing? What is the difference between the upright, the masculine, looking for God in heaven, and the downright, the feminine, being attached to earthly material things, because we are still on the planet as human beings. We still need earthly things, but start to imagine what the masculine and feminine are combined to do, because every tradition has it. The East Indian have Shakta and Shiva. So the Chinese is yang and yin energies. The West has male and female, but unfortunately it's the male and female that's all being distorted right now, just for whatever reason. But anyways, if you find this useful, please share it with people and hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you soon. Take care.